An astonishing light airs battle decided the line honours winner for the Roschier Baltic Sea race. I Love Poland crossed the finish line just 700 meters ahead of Tilmar Hansen's German TP52 outsider.
Of course, perfect. I mean, it's a perfect feeling. We are really happy. We did it. The plan was to fight up to the end, and well, it was a fight up to the end. It was a few wind holes, few waves, but we crossed the line like a first boat, and we are really happy, extremely happy. Actually, we are proud that we can be in part of this kind of sailing, of course, with this beautiful name. And but I'm most proud of my young crew, so they are trying their best to move the boat forward, and it's a perfect feeling.
This is the Sailing World on Water, July 29, 2022. After composite repair work late into the night, as well as remedial work to the engines of their support rib, the Plattner family's Phoenix team made a strong start to Puerto Portals 52 Super Series Sailing Week.
For the third regatta of the 2022 season, we're back here on the Sunshine Island of Mallorca. And it is super hot. This heat wave continues.
Yeah, it is going to be a hot week. I think encourage everybody to stay out of the sun and stay in the AC and stay hydrated. It's really about all you can do.
On the water, we have 9 boats racing. Quantum have won 2 regattas back to back. Can anyone stop the Quantum momentum?
So I think they're sailing obviously really well, but they're also quite fast, I think. I think they're the one to beat in the fleet as far as speed's concerned. And yeah, there's any one of about 5 boats that could beat them if they put it all together.
And one particular challenge for the Quantum this week is Doug DeVos, the owner-driver, is not with us. Terry Hutchison steps into the hot seat and Lucas Calabresi comes in as tactician.
You know, I have to stay focused on steering the boat. And, you know, we have little prompts written around the boat that I need to shut up and drive.
Race number 1 starts in 8 to 9 knots of breeze after a delayed start. Phoenix start 3 up from the pin end of the line, get a solid start. Sled are most right, and they get the first shift well. Phoenix tack out to the right side early on, and that really does pay off. They lead at the top mark with Sled in second, and the first victory goes to Phoenix. Slightly more breeze for the second race, about 10 to 11 knots on the start line. Interlodge pretty much do the same thing as Phoenix did in the previous race, but in the top mark it's Value leading from Interlodge in second. Down the first run and Interlodge get ahead. At the second upwind mark, then there's an overlap with Phoenix on the inside, Platoon and Quantum Racing. Phoenix get through at the top mark, Platoon also, but Quantum Racing foul Platoon and have to do penalty turns, and that does cost them. So Interlodge get their first race win of the season. After 2 races then, Phoenix lead on 4 points, second Sled on 4 points, also Interlodge on 5 points are in third place.
Yeah, great start for our team. First and a third place, and the way we battled back in the second race, we're really happy.
Yeah, we are very happy. Things are going well. Yesterday a win on the practice race, and today 2 seconds.
So 2 good, if slightly challenging races on the Bay of Palma. Temperature staying up for the next few days. It's going to remain super hot here in Puerto Portals.
Cherbourg-en-Cotentin welcomed a first-class fleet like in 2020, and with the arrival of the third edition in 2022, 12 classes, crewed, double-handed and solo, were invited to take the start last week.
C'est une belle occasion pour avoir des contraintes, un parcours. On n'aura pas de concurrents des bateaux de la même taille. Il y aura une belle image de départ avec plein de beaux mondes du milieu de la voile et plein de bateaux qui seront mélangés, donc ça c'est sympa.
Bonjour François. Bonjour.
La course, elle est basée, elle est articulée autour d'un triptyque qui est compétition, partage, fête. Donc sur l'aspect compétition, on a un plateau qui est juste extraordinaire, magnifique, avec plus de 134 inscrits et puis finalement 123 partants compte tenu des quelques défections. Et c'est un plateau avec des champions, des vainqueurs de plus grandes courses classiques et représentant aussi bien des amateurs que des professionnels.
On part, il est 14h20, je suis bien placé sur la ligne, quelques longueurs pour pas griller, et ça part pleine balle, je suis de mon côté. Comme c'est facile, ça passe sur un bord pour la première bouée, j'enroule dans le top 3, et là on attaque la manœuvre pour envoyer le spi, et voilà, et dès que c'est envoyé, après une bonne suée, un gros effort pour envoyer le spi en tête, enlever la chaussette, le régler, régler tout le bateau, regarder où on va, enfin se poser et puis préparer la suite, l'enrouler de la bouée d'Urville un petit peu plus loin et ensuite un affalage à la bouée d'Urville un peu technique puisqu'on descend le spi pour envoyer le Genac et déployer le Genac et partir vers l'Angleterre.
T'as la pression? Hop, et ben écoute, ça va, la pression commence à monter tranquillement, mais voilà, le bateau est prêt, j'ai confiance. Ouais. Et la météo va être sympa, donc non, ça va être que du bonheur. Cool.
Boris Herrmann's offshore sailing team launched their new race yacht as scheduled last week, after 18 months of innovative design and construction. With its spoon bow and schistro-shaped foils, the Melitizia Sea Explorer and the international team are ready to race again.
It's an IMOCA, so a race boat made specifically to race around the world in the Vendée Globe and in the ocean race. There are no other boats made for that, or very few other types of boats made for this purpose.
So things with the IMOCA 60s is their development class. We've got a basic set of rules, but there's a lot of unique kind of design and features that we can play with, and a lot of technology on the boat. And there's thousands of custom pieces around the boat that have to be designed. So it's taken about 35,000 hours of design work and 45,000 hours of actual manufacturing and construction of the boat. So it's been a massive effort from the team the last few weeks. We've had 40, 50 guys working around the clock 24/7 for the last month or so.
My feeling is that there's very little contradiction between an ocean race concept and the Vendée Globe. The crew number for the ocean race is 4 sailors and a media man, and typically IMOCA is designed for minimum 2 people. It's actually quite achievable to combine these 2 races into one boat concept, and this boat has been primarily designed for the Vendée Globe, but with the idea to have space here, so when I sail solo I can also sleep next to the winch, next to all the ropes, in the middle of the action, where when we sail as a crew, people can then sit on that bench and use the same space. The mast sits a little bit inside the deck. The boom is very flush with the cockpit, with the cockpit roof. This part here with the windows is what we call the cockpit, is where we do all the maneuvers. We have there a tiller, we have winch, the winches are there, all the ropes. One idea was to have a proper seaworthy boat with the freeboard, with a bow that is not too much inverted, like we see it on some IMOCAs, that the bow goes up and then in. It has rather flat sides in the front, and it's a pretty high bow.
We've gone for a very scow bow shaped boat, very rounded in the hull, and the idea with these kind of shapes of boats is to really deal with kind of Southern Ocean and extreme conditions, dealing with bigger waves and bigger winds. So that's kind of the main feature and the kind of newer shape that we've got with our IMOCA 60. But as well as that, we've really tried to put sensors on absolutely everything on the boat to work out, what's actually going on.
We have plenty of sensors. We have also plenty of fiber optic. When I mean sensor, I mean load sensor to make sure that we use properly the boat and we are not going to break everything like the mast or a foil or the hull or something like that. And then it's a big work on land to analyze this data.
You know, with the foils and with the flying of the boats now, there's so much load, so much extra strains going through the boat.
These foils have been designed with VPLP, both structurally and as well as from the shape point of view. And they call it Chistera foil. We have seen Dali foils and L foils and different shapes, so C foils on some boats. So these they call Chistera, which is basically a cricket singing. And so the inside the boat it curves like this, or on this side like this. It means when we lower the foil, the tip will come down, and therefore we can play with different modes of using this foil, with kind of more canned down, with the flatter foil that gives more lift, or with a kind of more V foil in the water that hopefully then regulates itself for more stable flight. We will cover parts of the solar panels with the mainsail, but they will produce energy also even if they're not exposed to direct sunlight. They are much more efficient solar panels than we had on the previous boat. It's the same manufacturer, Solbian. And a lot of thought has gone into this. So this is our primary energy source. When we do very long ocean passages, we can actually consume energy without being constrained by the weight of fuel. If we think of the long leg we're going to do in the ocean race from Cape Town to Itajaí, there would be a large quantity of fuel, and the fuel would be much heavier than these solar panels. So we need that for the fiber optics, for the computers, for cameras. We need more and more on these boats. We have like 7 or 8 cameras on the boat. There are a few cameras that are dedicated just to drive the boat, to control the boat, kind of technical cameras, and then there are media cameras. I would say the camera up here under the radar, that is more a media camera. That's a camera that allows a wide-angle view onto the bow, or when the mast is turned. This is a rotating mast, so there can be a wide-angle view onto the deck when we are working here, or when kind of water flushes over the deck. Then we have other cameras that just purely look into the sails, into a specific angle into the sails, some in the stern, one in the foredeck that looks vertically up. We have also a camera in the stern that looks down onto the kind of hydro generators and the rudders, so that, because from the cockpit I can't see those systems, and we want to be sure at all times that the rudders are nicely in position, nicely hooked, and that there's nothing tangled. So yeah, cameras are quite important on these boats nowadays.
During the second scheduled race from the island of Nisseros to the island of Telos, the crews participating in the Rhodos Cup 2022 had another intense sailing experience.
It's my first time in Rhodos Cup. Well, I hope there'll be many more after this one. It is an amazing race because you get to see the small islands that you don't get to see them very often. Well, I hope that many boats join this very, very nice race. And I hope me and my team get better and we get better results.
The 2022 Mark Foy Trophy, International 18-footer skiff regatta, was contested on Lake Garda, Italy from July 18th to 20th, and it became the 14th regatta of the championship series to honour the name of the man who was the father of the class on Sydney Harbour back in 1892. This is part 2 of onboard Boris Herrmann's new Imoca 60 Sea Explorer. This time we go below.
You can also, of course, like kind of dive through the window and look down if you want to just... Yeah, the idea is to here being able to communicate from the pit of the boat to the foredeck in a crewed situation, or solo to have a very short way from the foredeck and jump down here and untangle a rope or anything if you're like dropping a sail or something. The essentials are all here. We have kind of all the ropes coming here through a tunnel in the middle of the cockpit. We have winches here, 4 winches. We will install them just basically the morning when we go sailing the first time in a couple of days. Here we have like made some sort of bubble to be able to look forward, and this might be becoming also a steering position with the seat up high. So we're imagining to be kind of up here, and we have a tiller coming here, and then we can look forward and steer from here. Yeah, we have 2 tillers on the boat, one that connects here under the roof and out to here, and the same tiller can also go on deck for an outside steering that you might want to use at a race start or harbor maneuver. We designed this part of the boat first. The idea here was to have a bench here where like 2 people could sit, or I can, a solo sailor, so when I do the Route du Rhum or the Vendée Globe, I can lie down here. If I need to do anything, I can just jump up and be right at the handles or at the ropes, etc. The autopilot will be on here, so that was kind of a wish that came, that evolved from the Vendée Globe. And then we added this big cabin in the back. Well, this needs to be completely enclosed because we need the volume when the boat sits upside down. If we didn't have that, we probably had half a ton more in the keel bar. So even if this is a little bit of weight, it makes the boat lighter overall. And at the same time, we take advantage to have a big living space here with 3 bunks on either side. Place for the onboard reporter, place for the navigator.
We had a big reflection about bunks, about a nav station, to have a proper nav station, because it's always a mix about performance, about the weight you need to carry on, and also about the comfort, if I can say it.
For me, the past 2 months was mainly helping building the boat, installing the systems. How do you live? How do you make your food? Where do you go to the toilet? Where do you store things? The safety setup to make it a kind of a livable boat. And now, for me, it's feeling like, oh, well, now my job is really starting. Now we should make this boat fast.
We kind of divided the light situation. Here dark and here lots of light. So if you want to go for a longer nap, you probably can go here in a bunk. And here we painted everything white, especially in the Southern Ocean. There you have these grey days, and light is so important there to have the energy to keep pushing and and therefore the windows are important for that, but also important, of course, to understand what's going on outside. When you're trimming the sail, you can see it right from here. This boat can be used very well for a team because we made a very solid hull and platform. We can push the boat hard. We can also work very well together as a team and live well on the boat. And I think that's quite important. It's also a boat where we can enjoy being in a team at sea. And I'm really looking forward to that, to enjoy being at sea with a bunch of good friends.
You know, I'm as curious as you. I have no idea how the boat will sail. I've been on a simulator, so you know a little bit. So we should see. Once we hoist the sail and we put the foils in the water, we see how it goes.
I mean, super excited. You know, this is, if I think back the last few years, it's kind of been a dream to be launched and to be part of a team like this. So hopefully in about 6 months' time we'll be sailing it around the world.
Phoenix tactician Tom Slingsby talks after day 2 when they finished first and fourth.
So Tom, happy with the day generally?
Yeah, really good day for us. We had a first and a fourth, and yeah, we're in the hunt, we're in the game. Sled had a good day as well, and Interlodge came back with a good second race. So it's tight, the points, but we're in the hunt, and we're happy with that.
Well, that second race could have gone better, or were you happy?
Yeah, for sure. The second race, well, it could have got off to a better start. We were down the pin end with Quantum, and they were able to tack and cross, and we weren't able to tack and cross, and got pinned out past ley line. But from then on, we did really well. We could have very easily have been last around the top. I think we were second or third last, and then we chipped away, gained boats each leg, and got a fourth. We're really happy with that.
Tell me a little bit about gaining boats. It's so hard on that racetrack. Where are you getting it from?
It is so hard to overtake positions out there, and especially being one of the top boats, everyone's sort of got their eyes on you and want to make sure they tack on you. But yeah, you're hoping for mistakes. You're hoping other boats engage in a battle and you can sneak up on them. But yeah, we haven't been flying past people with boat speed or anything. It's been just making a few less mistakes and not overlaying marks and chipping away.
Is there a reason why the strategist is always cleaning the boat?
He made a few bad calls today, so he's being punished, but no, he's doing a great job.
Day 2 here in Puerto Portals, another hot one in prospect. Good sea breeze coming in, maybe 10 knots, something like that, but still hot. Very open at the top of the fleet, very difficult race course to read, but don't sweat the small stuff.
For sure it's going to be another hot one, very similar to the other days, to the past 4 days that we've been sailing here.
Well, race 3, a decent sea breeze on the start line, round about 10 knots. Phoenix start nicely, 2 boats from the committee boat end of the line, the right end of the line. Privetza way down on the pin end. It's all about the ley line to the top mark though. The left side is generally favoured, but Sled are the early leaders on the right. But as is often the case in Palma, the left comes good. Phoenix get round the top mark with the lead. Allegra second and Privetza in third. Quantum Racing and Platoon are deep, but it's a win for Phoenix and they extend their lead at the top of the table. Well, there's only 8 or 9 knots. The breeze has dropped very slightly for the start of the second race of the day. Platoon start nicely on the left of the line towards the pin end of the line. Quantum Racing are actually best off the start line, a really nice opening. Phoenix are over the start line and have to recross, and that really does cost them up the first beat. So at the top mark it's Platoon leading, Quantum Racing in second. Privetza once again doing a good first beat with Interlodge round in fourth, but Interlodge get through to third with Platoon winning, Quantum Racing second, Interlodge through third, and Interlodge take the regatta lead for the first time in their recent history. So the standings after 4 races, Interlodge leading by a single point, they're on 11. Sled are second on 12 points, Phoenix now in third on 13 points.
I'm very excited that we were able to be the prevailing boat today, and particularly with 2 third places. So it showed the consistency of the team, I would think, more than anything else.
New team, but I've known a lot of the guys for a long time. I sail with a lot of the guys on different boats, and you know, just the team's just so in tune with each other. They got a good bond, and it's just.
Sam Davies of Initiative Coeur fame has a new Imoca 60 boat, built for the 2024 Vendée Globe race. The boat's foils are streamlined wings that move in the water and transmit a lift force to make it take off at downwind speeds. They bring a significant gain in performance and speed.
Alors nous sommes chez Havel où on découvre donc la forme du foil. On la découvre presque pour la première fois. Cette forme, elle a été le fruit de travail avec les... Alors nous sommes chez Havel où on découvre donc la forme du foil. On la découvre presque pour la première fois. Cette forme, elle a été le fruit de travail avec les architectes, avec Sam Manoir et son équipe, avec notre bureau d'études. Donc là, on est dans une des dernières étapes de construction du foil. Pour en arriver là, il y a énormément d'étapes préliminaires. Ce qui est en train de faire l'équipe d'Havel là, c'est de venir poser des tissus qui vont fermer le foil d'une part, et d'autre part qui vont lui donner aussi des propriétés mécaniques, notamment de résistance à la torsion. Ensuite, il y aura encore, je dirais, 2 étapes principales. L'une qui va consister à mettre des fibres optiques dans le foil. Ces fibres optiques vont nous permettre de suivre ensuite les déformations du foil pour voir à la fois s'il travaille conformément à ce que l'on attend et puis avec des déformations qui sont celles que l'on souhaite. Et la deuxième utilité de ces fibres optiques, ça va être de connaître les efforts appliqués au foil et éventuellement de brancher des alarmes pour ne pas sursolliciter le bateau et notamment le gréement et le mât.
Alors, les tests du jour, on réalise des tests statiques sur les nouveaux foils pour mesurer les contraintes et aussi l'émission acoustique du foil. Donc on va écouter les bruits qu'il fait pendant qu'on monte en charge. Et suivant les bruits qu'on entend en acoustique, ça va pouvoir nous dire s'il y a un problème ou pas dans la structure du carbone. Ce sont des manipulations avec des pièces chères et qui peuvent être dangereuses si elles ne sont pas faites correctement, parce qu'on va quand même mettre beaucoup de charge. On monte à une charge que le calculateur nous a donnée. Donc on va aller tirer dessus jusqu'à ce qu'atteindre cette charge-là et voir ce qui se passe. Et ça va nous permettre de mesurer les efforts dans le foil et de mesurer les déformations du foil également. Et d'étalonner la fibre optique qui nous servira après dans le bateau pour voir combien le foil pousse en mer.
The RORC's biannual Rolex Fastnet race will be held again in 2023. Starting in Cowes on the Isle of Wight and heading west around the Fastnet light off the coast of Ireland to return to finish in Cherbourg, France. It is the biggest offshore race in sailing. Day 2 of Kitefoil World Series Gazeria produced slightly lighter winds, and through some subtly different challenges, at the 96 riders competing in the south of Italy.